I've been observing lately. So, I think this is why I keep harping on people getting their own platforms and actually putting themselves out there, sharing experiences and talking about their beliefs as well as any information that they have regarding their own experiences uh, with the healthcare system, with these, issues that we're facing at this time. So I don't know if you guys are aware, but a celebrity recently was tweeting about asking, telling her followers to ask questions, like ask questions about what you're putting into your body. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? The whole point is we should be asking questions. We should be asking the so-called professionals exactly what these things are, what ingredients are found on in our vaccines. Because I'm telling you right now, not everybody knows. Not a lot of healthcare workers know exactly what the vaccine does or what ingredients are found within the vaccines. Like some of them don't even have the actual ingredient list. Okay, like they just get told, here's the vaccines, check them, make sure that the seals aren't broken, make sure that they're sterilized, and then give them to your freaking people. Give them to whoever needs to be vaccinated, right? So, talking about that, when you ask a professional in the field like about like data, like, oh, what's the data on the vaccines, like, do we know any side effects, things like that, they're not going to give you the correct stuff. Why? Because there really isn't enough data compiled on this vaccine to give you that information at this time. Remember, a lot of these vaccines that we have been given have had data for years. Okay, this vaccine doesn't. So that's why a lot of people are choosing not to take it, because they don't know the side effects of this particular vaccine, and they don't know how this is gonna, you know, I would say years from now, how it's gonna affect them. Okay. At least we know the other ones, what the side effects are. At least we know how it affects us because there's actual information compiled, okay, through research for years before these were approved, okay? Before they were approved. And so, that being said, you're being, you're a guinea pig. These vaccines are, everyone's a guinea pig. Everyone's a guinea pig who takes it, okay? And so you're taking it at your own risk, and you have no right to sue them after you take it. You have no right to sue them if something happens to you 2 years from now that was caused by the vaccine, or even a few months from when you got it, okay? So let's talk about why Nicki Minaj is coming up now. Because she asked questions and she told her followers to do the same and to really, prey on it. Meaning she involved belief. She involved a mindset of asking questions. That's actually smart. Don't just blindly follow just because you're being forced to, or you're being fear-mongered into something, right? So she's over here trying to empower her followers, and then she has gotten backlash from a lot of people in the industry and in politics for some reason, that they care so much about her opinion regarding this, right? She even admitted that there are people in the industry like her who are fearful and won't talk about these things because they fear the backlash. They fear being isolated. They fear being, shunned in some ways, right? To me, that I see the issue there already. Like no one who has influence, no one who has that much influence will ever go out of their way to say how they feel about these things without, you know, without being pretty much ostracized for it, okay? So when you think about all of those actors, all of those entertainers who you admire, not talking about what not talking about like that you have the freedom to choose or to ask questions, simply asking questions, not saying that, not encouraging it. How good are these people that you admire? How what are their actual, when you think about it in this the context of morality and ethics, what are their ethics and morals? Cuz obviously they don't give a shit about you. It is very apparent that they don't give a one shit about you who are following them, who are saying like I don't know, like who are arguing for them, who are defending them against other people, things like that. Who you invest your time and money in following these people, in providing them an income, providing them a platform, and they say nothing about you having the right to choose, having the freedoms to choose whether or not you take that vaccine over that vaccine or not, nothing at all. And you're here witnessing this. None of your favorite actors, none of your favorite entertainers have said that. Only Miss Nicki Minaj, who you probably have never liked or never even cared for, is saying that. So it just tells you right there whose morals and ethics are for the people, okay? All right? Honestly. So when an actor or an entertainer goes against the grain, meaning what she just did, they get hate. They get hated on. They probably get their life threatened. They most likely are getting, their label or whomever is, in charge of them. They probably drop them now or have penalized them or might be suing them or they might be losing their income right there, their livelihood. Honestly, they're most likely going to lose it. They're going to lose every privilege that they ever had in Hollywood, in the music industry, just because they said, why don't you ask questions like Miss Minaj did? She most likely is already feeling the effects of this issue because she actually was already, I guess, uh, forbidden from tweeting, and she was already being attacked by others, okay? Um, and so most likely what's going to happen to her is if she doesn't, you know, if she doesn't like apologize or if she doesn't change her mind about giving you guys, influence to rise up and empower yourselves, then she's going to lose everything. And that's the thing that these people face when these things happen. And I believe that a lot of them don't want to lose their lifestyle, therefore they don't give a shit about you and they rather have their millions instead of doing the right thing and using their platform to empower people who are following them. Because obviously, people who follow celebrities who are diehard fans are, unfortunately, in my opinion, are one of the weakest minded people out there because they follow a shiny object. They haven't found their own true voice or empowerment, so they use that and or they emulate or they see this idol that they wish to be one day. And that means to me that they're very weak minded and they haven't I don't there's something going on in their heads, that they really believe in someone that they never met before in their entire life and will never meet ever in their entire life. So that just tells me they have that, unfortunately, that sheep mentality where they're going to follow the leader. They're going to follow this idol to the very end, unfortunately. And so that's why these people on these platforms, and I keep that's why I keep harping on this, you guys. You guys need to start flooding this social media shit like with your fucking information. And if you don't have a social media platform that you could share information with other people, then you need to fucking start. Okay? YouTube, get on TikTok, get wherever the fuck you need to flood these places with information. Okay? Because everybody who's following these influencers are listening to them instead of being rational and empowered people and listening to their own intuition and asking questions. Okay? That's why it's important for us to flood these social media outlets on purpose. Okay? To get the world shifted from idolizing millionaires and billionaires who don't have your best interests at heart to really seeing the heroes who are obviously being oppressed, who are obviously just not, they don't have millions of followers, who need to listen to people who will give them good advice because they've been there. Okay? They've been in their shoes. They need empathy. Okay? They need people who are empathetic to their plight, who are everyday average people who will encourage you to be empowered and ask the questions that you need to ask. Why is it that we are fighting for the right to abort babies, but we're not fighting to the right to choose medical treatments? Right? Why is it that where's this world coming to? Like, honestly, people are fighting for the right to kill children and babies. Because remember, New York passed that they can still technically abort a child after the child is born. Okay, that's killing a baby. Okay, so anyway, they're fighting for the right to do this, but they're not fighting for the right to choose medical treatments or medical options. So this tells me everything that I need to know about where these celebrities' minds are at, where these politicians' minds are at, and where their ethics and morals are. I believe they have none. Honestly, they don't have any ethics. They don't have any morals, because why would they be pushing one thing over another when everything should be a choice? Yeah, Eric Clapton too. Okay, well at least there's another one. But it's funny how when celebrities do kind of like, okay, I don't agree with this or that, when they disagree, they get like swarmed. They get swarmed by people that they're supposed to be in the same team or whatever. And it's just like, you guys get swarmed because you guys aren't loyal to each other. There's no loyalty in Hollywood. These celebrities aren't loyal to each other. How is it that they have fans that are loyal to them, but they have no loyalties to anyone but themselves? That's what boggles my mind, is that these celebrities have no loyalties to supposedly their friends. They're willing to fucking attack each other if someone has a difference of opinion, instead of coming together and speaking on why they have a difference of opinion, and being open-minded about differences of opinion. No, they have no loyalties to one another. They eat their own, but yet they have these followers who are willing to sacrifice their own fucking livelihood, meaning fucking pay for their shit, pay for God knows how much fucking amount of money for a fucking concert ticket, and willing to take the shot, the vaccine, without question, just so they could see them in a concert venue, okay? But these fuckers have no fucking loyalty to one another. There's no real true friendship in these entertainment businesses. If you fucking say something, if you misstep once, you're fucking done, you know? And people still are loyal to these people. Like, there's no morals or ethics behind these people, and you're still fucking loyal to them. Come on, guys. Flying monkeys. But yeah, so I just wanted to talk on that because look at what's happening to her, and I'm sure, you know, she's gonna start feeling the heat even more if she doesn't apologize and she doesn't change her mind about the vaccine. Watch. She's going to start feeling the heat. Things are going to be taken away from her. A means of how to make an income through entertainment is going to be closed to her soon if she doesn't fucking retort or she doesn't like stop talking about this. But if she is truly ethical and truly moral and truly cares about her following or the people that she's influencing, then she won't go back on her word. Okay? She won't take it all back, right? She won't apologize. If she's truly someone who is both ethically and morally superior than everybody else, obviously, around her. Yeah, yeah, followers, exactly. And that's why, and that's why when you think about it, social media platforms where it says follow, right? Follow this person. These words are already, indoctrinating you as pretty much like sheep. Like, oh, are you going to follow this person? Or are you going to like this person's video? Are you going to follow them? It's already like programming your mind to follow, right? Because you need to follow a leader. It's ridiculous. That's why I don't like anybody who subscribes to my YouTube. I don't call you guys followers. Like, I just like call you guys like supporters because that's what you are, a supporter. You're supporting what I do, and some of you guys are even my friends. We talk, and so it's just kind of like that's why it should be supporters. It shouldn't be followers. It's giving the power back to the people because everyone who supports a channel, who supports anybody on social media, that's what it should be, as a supporter. It shouldn't be a follower. And that's what they should change. I should get like really like hostile with them and be like, I'm offended with the word follow and the word follower. I'm so offended and outraged with this. You need to change it to supporter. But anyway, I just wanted to go on here and talk to you guys about it. And, keep doing the things that you're doing, you guys. Keep sharing information is important. Who cares if you get like, oh, you're in Facebook jail or whatever. I don't support Facebook because like everything's falling apart over there. But anyway, we have to reach the masses. And if you don't have a TikTok, and I was so against TikTok for a very long time, but I was shown by my guides that everybody needs to be on that platform, and particularly because there's younger generation there that needs to be influenced to become leaders and to be critical thinkers and not to just follow the leader. Critical thinking is important for the next generation because if we don't have these critical thinkers, they're just going to comply. They're just going to comply to everything, and they're not going to question anything. And they're just going to follow the leader into fucking destroying this world, right? So if you don't have a TikTok, just get one. You don't even have to upload any videos, you guys. You really don't. Like, I have people on TikTok who support my TikTok who have zero videos uploaded. All they do is you know, click like or whatever on my videos, and then what I do is just friend them because I'm not picky. You know, like, I'm not one of those, oh, you have to have over 1,000 people following you in order for me to friend you or whatever. No, I'm not like that. I accept everybody's friend request. That's how it should be. And they have zero videos. All they do is go and watch the videos and like them or whatever and show their support, you know? And so if you don't have one, get one. You could even share videos, you guys. Like, if you have that's a good thing about TikTok is you can share. You can still share, like, you don't have to upload your videos, or you don't have to upload any videos. And you can just share videos from people that you like, or, you know, or you support, you know, things like that. Just do that, because it needs to be flooded with people who have influence or who will eventually be influential. Okay. Yeah. But it's important, you guys. It's important for you guys to have some energetic effect or energetic signature on these platforms, because that's how things shift, is when our energy is placed into a platform and they starts to shift. So I think, like, a lot of people who like, for example, Facebook, it has shifted, you know, because it's a dying platform. It really is. It's a dying platform. It has shifted. It's about to collapse pretty soon. And then you have a lot of people flooding TikTok. That one will eventually implode on itself as well, especially if it has too much negative shit happening. And so it is important for us who are here to shift this, to bring in the death cycle, the death and rebirth cycle, of course. To do that, you know, to do that to these platforms, to shift the energetic signature of them in order for us to reach others out there and empower them to do the same for themselves. That's what I'm saying. It says, half jokingly informed my son I need a camera for YouTube yesterday. Should have seen his face. You should get one, Skywalk. You should. You should. I encourage everyone to have a platform, everyone to, even if you don't want to record yourself on camera, even if you don't feel comfortable with that, record your voice. Put like a background, you know, like use one of those I would say like one of those moving backgrounds, but you don't even have to use a moving background. You can just use a picture of, like, I don't know, an animal or some mountainside or something, and then record, you know, record like a reading, or record like whatever it is that, you know, creator or spirit or guides are telling you to send out a message with, you know, whatever it is that you need to share. As simple as that. You don't even have or need a camera to do these things. All you got to do is you use your phone, record, and there's free recorders on your phone. Record the message, and then even there's free there's free like video makers as well, and just put the recording with like a picture and then upload it to YouTube. You know, that's all you could do. That's all you have to do. Like, honestly, we need to flood these platforms. You got locked out of your Facebook account last year. You had a lot of good stuff. I just left like a few years ago. I'm like, this platform is dying. I'm gone. Yeah, and then TikTok, you know, you'll find a lot of people on TikTok who have similar points of view. They're a bit I would say our generation. I was like, they're a bit older as our generation. And all you can do is just, support their channels or support their TikToks by liking the video or even commenting or sharing it, that's all you can do. And the more that you do this, the more that so it's different for TikTok. So engagement is very critical for TikTok, okay? Like, in order for people to see what you're doing or what someone else is doing on TikTok, there has to be higher engagement, meaning people have to watch the video, the whole entire thing, not just a second of it, not like YouTube where you just watch a second and then it's like shows you that somebody watched it. In TikTok, you have to watch the whole thing. You have to like, you have to comment, and I think, sometimes they say if you share it'll help as well, so that people can get it on the what is called for you page, where there's two options. It's like the following, like who you're following, of course, who you're following on TikTok, like what pages you're following, and then the for you page, which is everybody, right? So the for you page has all the popular videos on there, meaning that people have engaged with this video, have watched this video thoroughly, and it's getting more views because of it. And that's why it's on the for you page. Okay. So, that being said, that's how you hook up people that you admire who have been using their platform in a good way and spreading the truth, right? Or what you believe in as well. And that's how you do it on TikTok. So I recommend everybody to get one because it's very different from Facebook and from Twitter. It's very rare for them to even I guess you could say stop your video unless you say something controversial, of course. And you just got to be careful the way that you title the video or the hashtags that you use, because those are the ones that they ping right away. If you talk about anything about the vaccine, or if you put a hashtag about the vaccine on there, right away they mark it, and they put COVID information or whatever on the bottom, and so that people can click on it. So it's really important for you, if you are going to share information, do not title it that. Do not use those hashtags. You could just use like the I guess the popular hashtags at that time or whatever, and then make sure you follow pages that tell you what popular music is used for the background, and then you could actually modify the way it sounds. Like you could even mute it, but it'll come up as like the popular music, and that'll get you views as well. So there's a lot of things you can look into it. So it's just you gotta just put yourself out there and share the information with whomever it is that is on that platform. Because that's how I learn a lot. Like, I learn a lot from TikTok users based on what's happening. Like, I don't really watch the news because, everybody has a bias on the news. And so there's people who actually just talk about what's on the news, and they don't even have an opinion. They just say this was presented, that was presented, that was presented. And that's how it should be reported. The news should be reported without bias. It should just be reported, right? And so people on TikTok do that. Like, this was reported on the news. This was reported on the news. This was reported. And that's how I found out about the Nicki Minaj thing, is that they talked about it on one of the TikToks that I support, where she said, "Oh, the rapper Nicki Minaj is reported that this and that," and they moved on. And I was like, "Oh, I want to look at that more and see what's going on." And so I Googled it myself, and then I'm like, "Oh, okay." So she's talking, to her followers about asking questions about what you put in your body, which is a very smart thing to do, right? You can, with TikTok, you can like, it'll ask you questions like location or some of other shit, right? You don't have to give them your location. You don't have to give them anything like that. That's why I think TikTok fucks with me like in that way, because every time I turn it on, like or I because I log off of it. Because that's how you TikTok collects data just like Facebook if you log in. You keep the shit logged in, like the application logged in. Log out, you'll be fine. Don't give them your location. You'll be fine. Because they ask for these things, right? And I'm just like, fuck no, I don't want you to know where the fuck I'm at. South America, yeah. But yeah, so it's important for us to flood these places, TikTok in particular, to make sure that the next generation before us understands that they have every right to question their government, that they have every right to question medical professionals as well. Because when you think on it, not okay, you medical professionals might have gone to school for God knows how long, and what is their grade point average? Did they pass with flying colors like their curriculum? Or did they just barely fucking make it and barely got their degree? Think on it. Think on it. There's a lot of professionals out there who barely fucking made it and barely got their degree, and they could go on there and supposedly do all this stuff, like see what's going on with you, and they don't fucking know half of the shit that's happening. They're dummies. There's some of them who are dummies. There's some of them that know more than they do, and you don't even have a degree in the field. And yeah, I know a lot of people might get offended, like, oh my God, I went to school, I fucking know everything. I was like, no, you don't. You don't know everything, because you probably have never encountered certain, health issues in people. And when you think about the health issues in people, they're not all the same because physiology is different. Not everyone is built the same way. Not every disease is going to comply in the same manner as it does in one person over in another. And that's the truth. Like when I was in my undergrad, there was this one kid who always partied, came came to school and copied work and passed the class because he copied off of people, and you know, he got a C in every class or even just barely passing, and he got his undergrad, and then he moved on to his master's. And I'm just like, look, see, that just proves a point right there. Not every fucking person who has a degree is an actual master of their craft. And that's why questioning them is important too, because they don't know everything. Like, think about it this way. A doctor gets pitches by pharmaceutical companies. Okay, because I worked at a real quick for like an internship real quick when I was before I became a medical aide. I worked at this doctor's office. It was like three doctors who came together and they had their own practice, right? So three of them, right? Every Friday, a pharmaceutical company would come up and give them, like, talk to them about a new drug. Oh, this and this and that. This is what it does and for your patients. And I want you guys to try it. I want you guys to test it. And we'll give you this much money for you to test it. And we'll give you this much of a discount for if you buy in bulk. And then we'll even give you a trip to God knows in the Bahamas, so you could come to a seminar regarding the drug, and these are the statistics. Even though we don't have enough statistics, we just want you to test it out. So that's what their pitches were, these doctors are like, sounds good to me. and they bought the fucking drug without knowing exactly what's in the fucking drug, without knowing exactly how their patients were going to react to it. This is what they do, you guys. And so when you question the doctor, like, whoa, 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 what's contained in this medicine? What's in this drug? What's in that? They're gonna look at you like, oh, well, this is what this is what it's used for, but they're not gonna be able to tell you the chemical in the drugs and how it would react to you specifically. Okay, important, and that's why you question these people. I think the only person that could ever tell you how this is gonna work and how it's gonna, what reactions you might have are the people making the fucking drug. That's the only one, and pharmacists too, because that's their job is to know drugs and know how people are gonna react to them, right? Know which one to give and which one not to give, right? And the only one, I guess I would say the only person that I would trust will be a nurse when they know exactly which drugs their patients have, because doctors don't fucking know. And they'll be like, okay, here is a doctor prescribing this patient a this drug, but it's going to react with that drug and it's going to avoid that drug, and that's going to be a problem. Nurses catch that. Doctors don't. So the nurse's job is to catch that and to tell the doctor, hey, that drug's not gonna, it's gonna interact with this drug. It's gonna be a big fucking failure, right? So that's why it's like, you guys, we're so used to complying and we're so used to being told these people are the experts when it's not true. These people probably barely passed their fucking medical school, think about it in that way. Let's see. Skywalker. but but I'm serious, you guys. That's why it's important for you to question, especially if you have this, like, if you're getting told intuitively. I was like, trust your intuition, move over this. That if you put something in your fucking body, it's gonna have a really negative reaction to it. Okay, if you're being told that, then trust that over anything else. Okay, because you're the only one. Honestly, you're the only one who knows exactly how your body's gonna react to certain things, and it's important for you to trust that. Okay, if you don't feel comfortable with placing something in your body that you don't have enough information about, then trust yourself on that. Okay, don't let anybody force you based on their fear mongering, being bullies. Don't let anybody do that to you. Okay, just like with I feel like this is something that we learn as women in particular at a very early age, when you're, especially now, oh my god, now little girls are being told about how it's important for them to take the, I think it's the, what is it called? The HPV shot, right? Little girls and little boys too. They're like 9 years old, 10 years old, and the doctor's like, hey, would you like us to start to administer HPV shots? And I'm like, HPV shots? Like, they're not sexually active. What the fuck? You know, they start them that young. They start them that young. And so I asked, like, I remember, because I remember this happened to me when I went to take my daughter to the doctor, and it was just her yearly checkup. And I was like, she's like 10 years old, okay? And the nurse is like, would you guys like to start the HPV shots? And I was like, looking at her like, uh, why would she need them now? And they're like, oh, we start them at age 9, uh, so that, because it's a series of shots. And I'm like, no, I'm okay. And she got pissed. And so she told the doctor to try to convince me to start it. And so the doctor comes in and is like, oh, would you like to, start the HPV shot? I was like, I told the nurse no. And he was like, okay, can I ask why? I was like, first of all, I don't know enough of information about it. I don't know what the chemicals are in the shot. And also, my kid's 9 years old. She's not sexually active and she won't be for a very long time because I know my kid. She still isn't. You know, she's 14. She still isn't. And she still doesn't have that mindset either. And I told him, I was just like, and no, because I don't think it's necessary for her at this age to start a series of vaccinations. Then she might need to start them again when she does become sexually active. It doesn't make sense to me. And the doctor was like, "Oh, well, I can't really tell you about what exactly is in the vaccine, but I can tell you that it'll be helpful to start it now." And I was like, "But I told him because I knew a little bit more about it. I was like, yeah, but it says that you can take a series of these shots, but then later on, when they become sexually active, you're going to take more. You have to take more. So what's the whole point? Might as well wait until she's sexually active to have them done, you know? And I was like, instead of having them done over and over again, and he was just like, okay, well, I respect your choice or whatever, and he left it at that. But that nurse was pissed. The nurse was pissed that I wouldn't fucking do it. And I'm just like, you know, lady, fuck you. Let's see. Said, your older one didn't take it either. I went to school with younger to make sure because she was getting another one that day. Yeah. So anyway, that's important for you guys to ask questions. I always do. I might be labeled as being someone difficult. But I always ask questions because it's like, what are you putting in my kid's body? I want to know what the fuck she's getting pumped in, in her body. Like, come on. Like, and it's not to be difficult, it's just to understand my kid might have sensitivities and we might not know that she has sensitivities, you know? Like, for example, when I was in the military, I had her, and luckily I had a really good doctor, a really good pediatrician in the military, where he never gave her more than one shot at a time. When she was like, I think we waited because well, he actually recommended her to wait for her shots. Like, she was born in 2007. That K something vitamin or whatever it's called that they give them right off the bat as soon as they're born, that shit wasn't fucking implemented or wasn't mandatory when she was born. I think that shit happened like in 2008. So that K shot or whatever, the K vitamin K shot or whatever, they do it as soon as the kid is born. They do it. And they say it's because it prevents the kid from dying or something from some type of blood clot, like, or some whatever. I don't know. They didn't give it to her. And then she didn't get her first set of shots until like, whew, God, how old was she? She got her checkups, right? We had a good provider. He didn't believe in administering shots to kids at a very young age because they don't have an immune system. They're born without an immune system, you guys. They're born without one, okay? And so you're giving them fucking these shots that have viruses in them, and yes, to build their immune system, but they can't fight against these viruses, you know? And so he explained that to me, and he was like, "Oh, we're gonna start her first set like when she's 6 months old," and I was like, "I don't feel comfortable with that." And he's like, "I could push it to 10 months," and I'm like, "Okay." And so that's what he did and he gave her first shot, and it was like he was supposed to give her multiple ones, like a series of four. And he said, no, we're gonna give her one at a time, just to see her reaction. And then he let us wait in the waiting room after he gave her first shot for 15 minutes to make sure that she didn't react or anything like that. And then he actually had his nurse check up on us the next day, make sure that she doesn't have a fever and things like that, because he fucking knew little kids unfortunately reacted badly to multiple vaccines. And how are they going to track which vaccine did what if there's multiple vaccines given to them at once? How are they going to know what's the cause, which vaccine caused that issue in a kid, right? Or in a newborn, right? Or what two vaccines interact with each other and might fucking do something like that. And so he was like very cautious about it. I think he had a bad experience. That's why he was so cautious. But that's good. At least he fucking tried, right? And so she got her first series shot when she was 10 months old. And she was good. And then she like went back like a month later for her next series, like well, her second one, and then a week after for another one, things like that. He actually spaced them out correctly when I was in the military, which I was surprised because usually I used to get vaccinated like fucking 5 shots at a time. But I was just like, fuck, okay. But like that's when I wouldn't know any better. And then she got vaccinated once at a time, like they didn't do multiple ones. Um Civilians, on the other hand, will fucking do multiple ones, unfortunately. And they just think, oh, that's just how it is, right? It's like, no, you could do one at a time. You don't have to do 4 shots at a time. You could do one at a time. Let's see. All that money, otherwise completely unnecessary. I totally agree. The carrier mercury, aluminum, egg are too much. Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, he was the only one. He was older too. I think he's long gone. Like he was old. Like this guy was really old. He was a civilian doctor. So they had him contracted with the military hospital where I was at. But yeah, he did it that way. And then I heard about like because I had like other coworkers who were pregnant and had their kid like in 2008. I heard about that vitamin K shot that they got right off the bat. And I was just like, what? Like, I was like, a newborn? A newborn got a fucking vitamin K shot right off the bat? Like, come on, dude. Is it really just vitamin K? Because I'm sure it's not. Mara says they try to push multiple vaccines that weren't there before. Yeah, uh-huh. Like I never like when I look at my vaccination records when I was a kid, I hardly okay, so they vaccinated me for they didn't vaccinate like they vaccinated my mom for polio when she was a kid, right? Which was a big outbreak back then or whatnot, or. Anyway, I didn't get one. They vaccinated me for the measles, things like that. I got the chicken pox when I was a kid. I got that. Like I had the chicken pox. Um, so I'm like, because I had that already, that I didn't need that. I didn't need the vaccine. And then they got the rubella, and then they got the hepatitis shots. I got those when I was in the military. So I only had like those, the rubella and the measles, and they're separate. They were separate back then when I was a kid. They were given to me separately. They weren't given a one shot or whatever. Um, and I would get like influenza. I had that when I was a kid, like the shot or whatever. But I didn't have that many shots. I didn't have that many shots. I remember when we went to the doctor to get the shots, I like probably like a handful of times that we got anything, right? And then and then after that, when I was in the military, I got all kinds of fucking shots yearly, like all kinds of them. And I was just like, fuck, what the fuck? Like, where is this coming from? I didn't know like you needed so many shots a fucking year, right? Um, and this is without being deployed, okay? And then when I did deploy, it was more shots. I understand that one, um, but then I see all these kids getting God knows God how many fucking shots a fucking year too. And I'm just like, dude, we survived with just like 3 shots. Like just 3 of them. We survived, right? So I'm just like, where is this coming from? Where is this push of like overly vaccinating people coming from? Like seriously. Even some pharmacy here do not sell the individual vaccines anymore. When you ask them, they say it does not exist anymore. Yeah, because the pharmaceutical companies have compiled everything into one vaccine, and then they give you like fucking 4 series of it. Skywalk Try says, that's what I said about vitamin K. I don't remember my older ones getting vitamin K. Yeah, exactly. I think it just started in 2008, honestly, because my sister said her daughter got vitamin K shot right off the bat too, and her daughter was born 2017. So she got it right off the bat too. Gratitude kids during basic, I just walked through a assembly line of shots. Don't even know what they were all were. Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah. Tara says my husband had tons of shots before deploying, and one had multiple needles on one shot, and the injection site was so gross. Oh, that one is the that one's the smallpox one. I everybody gets that one. So fucking disgusting. So what it is that they get the actual an actual needle, okay? And there's this little vial that they use. That's where the virus is held in this little vial. They dip the needle in the vial. So that's exactly how the smallpox was discovered to be like prevented or to spread. So they dip it in the vial smallpox, like the actual virus, and then they stick you 1, 2, 3, 4 times on the arm. Um, like they use new needles, right? They throw that one out, put another needle, stick you again, things like that. And then you get it right there, and then it starts to grow this little pox thing, but it's covered up. So they cover up with a band-aid so you don't spread it. It's so fucking gross, you guys. But yeah, I got that one. It's so fucking itchy too. Like when I got it, I was like, "Oh, it's not that bad." And then the next day it was so itchy. I was like, "Oh my God, like what the fuck?" And then finally when they tell you, "Oh, like after I think it's after 3 days, you can stop wearing the Band-Aid thing over it." And then when you see it, it's all this nasty little fucking like it's just pussy stuff. It's gross. You can't touch it or break it, because it's gonna reactivate it. So it starts to dry off and then it goes away. It's so fucking disgusting. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's supposed to look like that. Yeah, it's pus. So fucking gross. Oh my God. But anyway, so yeah, so it's just like if I have kids, in the future, hopefully I get a good doctor that will fucking not force, all these shots on them at once. Like if they're gonna have like the measles, mumps, and rubella one, I think it's in one shot, but it's a multiple series of it. So I would just be like, you know what? You're gonna give that to my kid. It's gonna be one shot every visit, not one like 4 shots at once. I don't fucking believe in that. The anti-malaria they tested for the aggressive causing aspect. It's a quinine one and leaves the person with something like PTSD, class action lawsuits in the US. Oh, see? Yeah, anti-malaria pills. I never took those. So the reason why, okay, so this is what when we deployed, they gave us the anti-malaria pills. Um when we got to our deployment, they were like, "Okay, if you have them, take them," right? Some people were saying that. We had medics with us. And we asked them, "So what's the well, I asked because I know I'm not going to fucking take something that that I fucking know anything about. So it's like, hey, so what's the thing with this anti-malaria? It's like, does it even fucking protect you against malaria? And they're like, well, looking at the region that we're at, there really isn't high cases of malaria here, so you don't really need to take it. And secondly, I wouldn't take it at all because some people have some really bad reactions to this medication. And I'm like how? And they're like, well, a lot of them have like these, I guess, sleep issues when they take it, either really horrible nightmares or lack of sleep. And I was like, I like my sleep and I don't like to have nightmares, so I'm not taking them. So that's what these medics were telling me, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not taking them. So I gave them back to them, and they just noted that I didn't take them or whatever. And then so yeah, it does happen that way because there's a lot of people who had really bad reactions when I was deployed. When they were taking them, they stopped taking them because of it, because they're just like, I couldn't sleep. They would go to the medical tent and complain about not being able to sleep, and the medics would be like, are you taking the anti-malaria pills? And they're like, yes. And they're like, well, stop taking them. Give them back, stop taking them, you'll be fine. After that. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the MMR. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah. It's too many. Yeah. So they do, I think they do 4 of them at once, or 3 of them at once. The MMR. I don't remember because my daughter, she got them different, like separated, because my doctor was awesome. But anyway, yeah. So I just want to come on here and tell you guys that about, you have if you have intuitive hits on something, question it. Um, if you're questioning them and the professionals get upset with you because you refuse to take something that they're forced wanting you to take, walk out. You don't have to. You have every right not to, accept medical treatment, okay, or accept drugs or anything like that. You really do. You still have those rights. Like, there's a lot of states who, or there's a lot of people who try to persuade you to do that out of like telling you, oh, I'm going to report this. They can't do that legally. They can't report anything that you refuse legally. They really can't, because guess what? OSHA protects you, and you can sue them. If you find out that they reported you refusing to do something to comply with medical treatment, and they report it to someone, that means that they actually divulge your medical records to someone without your permission. You can sue them. Okay? You're protected under you have a lot of rights, I would say. That's why a lot of medical people don't do that, because they know that they're violating your rights if they try to do that too. Yeah, uh-huh. Remember, their oath is, do not harm, do no harm, or whatever. That's one of their oaths, right? And to treat everyone regardless of creed, regardless of race, regardless of sexuality, to treat anyone that they can, right? To try to save lives and do no harm. That's their oath, okay? And if they're not complying with that oath, you could easily report their license to the medical boards as well. A lot of people don't get that. It's like the people are like, oh, someone's trying to force me to do something that I don't want to do. It was a medical facility. You can report it to the news. You can report them to the either licensure boards in the states that they're working in, and they have licensure boards there. They have to have them in order for them to practice. You can do that, okay? All you got to do is do a Google search and just get the information from the office. Like, you don't have to ask for their information, because you could actually Google search them, because they are public. Like, the doctor's information is public. It has to be. So you get all his information or her information, nurses too. You get all their information, write it down, get their like licensure number. It's on there. It's public record. And then you can file a complaint to their licensure boards for the state that you live in, for where they're practicing. Do it that way. If they have to they have to actually investigate this. Okay? And so the more that people are doing this, the less that these medical people are going to force you to or trying to violate your rights. Okay? You got to fucking put some fire under their ass, okay? If they're going to fucking be like that, you have to do something about it. So if they're going to fucking try to force you to do something or try to fucking give your personal medical information out because you refuse to you get treatment or something like that, you can do that to them. And also you can and you could also report the medical facility that they work in to the state, and they're going to be able to investigate and go into the medical facility and check their records, so do kind of like an audit on them to see how many complaints they already had for the same issue, or even talk to patients who are in that facility at that time that they go to investigate, to see what's going on. Okay, you can do that too. All right, don't let them intimidate you. This is exactly what happened when I was working at this retirement home as a medication aide. We had a resident in there that was it that they were so this so they had a complaint, right, about their treatment by some new nurse and the doctor too, because the doctor, I don't know what the doctor told her, but he gave her an attitude about something, and she was just like adamant about being able to choose what type of treatment she wanted, right? I think she had knee surgery, and um she was wanting to have physical uh PT, physical training for it, or physical assistance with it, which it's obviously a good thing that she wants to be independent, right? So I think it was weeks after her knee surgery she was supposed to start, and she never got anybody to come to her room that was from PT, the physical late whatever it's called. They never came. They never got scheduled to see her, and so she was like asking a nurse like that was on the floor, like, "Hey, can you call, my doctor and ask him why I haven't gotten approved for PT yet?" And she was just like, and this was a new nurse, and this was the actual nurse that didn't get hired from the facility, but was a traveling nurse. Okay. Um, she was fucking rude. I'm not gonna lie, she was fucking rude. And she's like, yeah, I'll take care of this. She said this to her, right? The nurse was hanging out at the nurse's station, and she was just sitting there like logging her fucking whatever treatment she gave, or and whatever. And so the lady called again, and I went and answered it, and she's just like, "Hey, I just wanted to check in if so and so called the doctor regarding my PT and scheduling that." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll ask her." So I go over there and ask her, and the bitch fucking had to catch an attitude. She's like, "I'll do it whenever I have the chance. I don't know why you guys have to fucking keep bothering me about it." I'm like, "This is the first time I actually fucking told you anything about it. You don't have to fucking catch an attitude with me." And so she's just like, "Okay, whatever. I'll call the doctor later." And I'm like, "Okay, well, she's going to call again. I'm just letting you know, if you don't call them soon, she's going to call again. She's going to keep calling until something happens, right?" So she didn't do it. And she didn't even pass it on to the next nurse coming on shift regarding what the patient was asking for. And then so it was a shitstorm after that, because the next shift nurse had no fucking idea that this was requested. And then the patient got pissed, and she was like, "How are you guys not gonna fucking talk? Like, what do you guys do?" And things like that. So anyway, the doctor finally came in after, they called him in, and I guess the nurse told the doctor that she was catching an attitude with her or something like that. So the doctor caught an attitude with the patient. And so she was like, the patient's like, I'm fucking done with you guys. And so she called, I think she called her daughter, and her daughter actually works at a facility like that. And so she called her daughter. She's like, I want these people to be reported, like they have yet to comply with my request for PT. I know I need to have PT and I want to get moved out of this facility, right? So she wanted to move to a different facility because obviously they weren't taking care of her. And so she filed a complaint with Human Resources regarding the doctor and the nurse. She then filed a complaint with the state regarding the facility itself because she knew that the Human Resources weren't going to do anything about the doctor or the nurse. And then she filed a complaint regarding the doctor's licensure for the state as well as the nurse's license. So yes, you have every right to do that. If they don't fucking do something that you know you need to get done, then you have every right to do that. Or if they fucking give your information out without your permission, then you have every right to go and file reports of malpractice or maltreatment, mistreatment from these people. Okay. All right. So that's all I want to say. I've been on here for an hour. So yeah. So question, you guys. You have every right to question these people to get answers regarding what goes into your body. Don't let them, intimidate you into doing something you're not ready to do. Don't let them intimidate you into forcing your child to do something that they're not, willing to do as well. Okay. So that's all I wanted to come on here and say. Stay safe. Flood TikTok. All right. Flood it. You don't even have to make a video. Just flood it. Flood it with your energy. All right. Flood it with your energy. All right, you guys. Love you guys so much. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.